Lee, it's Kevin again. Obviously now we've looked at the classic three-tier model. What I want to do is say, well, why is the Nutanix model different, and what's so significantly different about it? Well, its architecture from the ground up is completely different. I'm not going to go too complex into it, but I'll keep it nice and simple and straightforward. So, effectively, in the Nutanix software you're going to get, you've got four effectively separate servers, or up to four separate servers, and three of them custom to start off with. Within each server, you have CPU, and you have RAM, and then you have SSD, and then you have a number of hard disks. And that's repeated all the way along. Each of those is an independent virtual environment itself. Now that, as you can see, immediately has a benefit because you don't have that three-tier architecture. You don't have any pinch points because everything's. How do they connect together? Well, they do connect together via a 1 gig or 10 gig switch, and obviously as speeds get higher, then you'll be able to connect them higher. But the reality of it is that you're not getting penalised by VMware here because you're not using VMware. You're using Nutanix's own acropolis hypervisor, and that sort of sits across at this level. Yet again, really, it's fair to say that VMs do effectively sit on the disk level, but actually, in real terms, they sit in the SSD level. Now, SSD flash is highly fast. It's also localized. So when you are talking to it, you are not going out, under normal circumstances, you're not going out across a switch, so you don't have any bottlenecks. Everything is localized. And yet again, you can have loads of VMs, as many as you want across your infrastructure. It just depends on the sizing of it. The point is, it's one single management platform. So you have a single pane of glass as your management system, and that looks at all of the components, all the way down to the disks, the VMs, the virtual environment, everything all in one go. And you know what? It's clever as now, provided we have the right switch in place to be able to pull everything in from the switch as well. So everything is localized. It's easy to manage, easy to deploy. That's quite important. But also, the key thing is the performance. Also, as we said, scalability. So I believe we're starting with 3. If we want to add a 4th node on, all we do is we add the disks in here. We slot the effectively the motherboard, which is just slottable in. So all you have to do is slot that in. You add the disk in. You make 2 connections down into the switch because obviously it needs to have a switch, and then you do a 1-click on the management, 1-click on the management, and you're done and dusted. Now, if we flip back to 3-tier architecture, when you want to upgrade, you've got 3 individual components to upgrade. With this, you're upgrading everything all in one go, and it does it on a rolling basis. So yet again, it's 1-click, that's important. 1-click upgrade, you go onto the management system, you click upgrade, already downloads it for you, and then if you need to upgrade, what it'll do is it moves the virtual machines off, it'll upgrade this one, then it'll move the virtual machines back, then it'll upgrade this one, and then it moves the virtual machines back, and they'll upgrade so on and so forth, and just does a rolling upgrade. You can have a cup of coffee, and nice and easy, real simple straightforward thing. The key is simplicity, the key is performance. Everything's 1-click, everything's easy. You don't have bottlenecks, you don't have any of the other classic issues you have in the 3-tier architecture, and that makes it a lot more cost effective. It's easy to upgrade if you need to upgrade, easy to do all sorts of other features. So, for instance, if you wanted to do backup and disaster recovery within this environment, you can have another Nutanix, and there's multiple ways in which you can do that. You can do it asynchronously, one after the other. You can do it synchronously in line. You can do what's called a metro lounge, it's highly resilient. Also, you know what? You can run some of your VMs on there, some of your VMs on there. Now, there's cost implications doing that, but there's plenty of other ways. You can back this up straight up into the cloud, so go into Azure or AWS. That's AWS. That's a piece of cake. It's easy enough to do. You can use third-party tools such as ArcSearch, a whole variety of different things to make it simple and easy. We have many choices which we need to do. And I think one of the things we need to talk about is the advantages of having a second system. The other thing that we would highly recommend in an interim format, money is to say, well, okay, you know what? For your disaster recovery and backup, you have your existing stuff. You pay for it. It's there. It's working. Not necessarily as well as you want, and not necessarily under the support that you want. But you know what? Why don't you just move that lock, stock, and barrel over to one of your other sites and use one of our other tool sets, one of our other disaster recovery tool sets, in order to back that up for there, and then you've got a live running system. It's not costing you any money. It's going to cost you a little bit for the backup solution, but that's relatively straightforward. We know it works. We do have a number of customers in this sort of format. It's nice and easy. And then when you get to the point where you've got enough money, you made a decision that you want to have a full active DR, and you want to sort of invest more money in it, get another new tag, put it in there. Much more cost effective and much more overall effective way of doing that. So just a quick highlight. Hopefully that'll help. I'm going to do another video just sort of talking a little bit more about workspot versus Citrix and some of the advantages and disadvantages of that. Okay, thank you very much. Speak to you soon.